Hi, welcome to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing okay from whichever part of the world you could be watching this video from. My name is Dr. Lubem and I make videos based on health. I give medical advice. I also create a public awareness on some of the diseases that people should be careful about. So in this video, I'll be talking about 4 habits that can actually destroy your brain cells that you should be careful about. So let's not even waste too much time. Let's get into the video proper. Right, the first thing on the list is lack of sleep. So if you are that type of person that deprives yourself of sleep, I would start recommending that from today onwards you try as much as possible to get enough sleep. Now, this might also be a little bit difficult for people who have certain type of work that they do that requires them not to sleep early or to give in too much hours. A lot of people are very hardworking. Let's not forget that they are very hardworking. They are willing to work extra hours to make sure that they get to their destination. They are successful. So psychologically, sometimes if you are doing something at a late hour and then to you think or you believe that this thing is not stressful, if you enjoy that thing that you are doing, it does not actually destroy your brain power. It has the way of enhancing you, even making your brain cells become more acquainted to that thing. So your brain cells now adapt to that energy or adapt to that routine, so that anytime you stay up late to do that thing, maybe your brain does not feel any kind of discomfort. But if you are the type of person who does not keep a routine, today you are on your phone, till you sleep late, or you're watching a movie till you sleep late, you're not actually doing anything that enhances your brain power. You're just releasing a lot of dopamine to your head. Maybe you are doing something random on the internet and all of that stuff, and you're depriving yourself of sleep. I recommend, please, and today, start getting enough sleep. It's very important for your brain, because once you don't get enough sleep for your brain, remember your brain cells are constantly working, so they also need sleep. The same way you also go to bed to sleep. It's not only you that enjoys that, your brain too enjoys it, because when you wake up in the morning, your brain has to reboot, start to get afresh. So the more you don't sleep late at night, the more your brain cells start depreciating, and the more complication could result from that. The second one is depriving yourself of glucose. Now, because I've said this, a lot of people will now start eating high content of carbohydrate up and down. If you take carbohydrate in excess, there could still be a complication with that. What I mean is, don't deprive yourself of carbohydrate. Some people, because they actually wanted to lose weight, or because they wanted to reduce the amount of food they eat, they now reduce the carbohydrate to a very, very abnormal low amount. It is not healthy for your brain, because predominantly the brain uses glucose to derive its energy. It's like glucose is the food of the brain. So whenever you deprive your brain of glucose, or you deprive your body of glucose, not just your brain will suffer that, other areas of your body too will suffer that. In other areas of your body, for instance, it could tap into other sources or storages to produce energy. So it could go into the adipose tissue, for instance, to derive energy from fatty acid. That could actually work in other areas or parts of your body. But for the brain, it uses mostly or predominantly glucose to produce energy. So please don't deprive yourself of glucose. The third one, which is very important too, is lack of exercise or a sedentary lifestyle. So I made a video about obesity, 5 habits that can actually make you become obese. And I mentioned this also to be part of that. So it's a complication. You could see how it is interrelated. Lack of exercise could also kind of increases. This is what happens with lack of exercise. There are residues of fatty acid known as lipoproteins, cholesterol, very low density lipoproteins. So whenever you are not working, whenever your body is sedentary, they have the ability of clogging around your major arteries. Let's say the great arteries, the aorta of the heart, and most especially the cerebral arteries or cerebral vessels. They clog around the lumen of those arteries. And because they are doing that, what happens? The space between those arteries or those vessels close up. So it kind of tightening, and because of that, you might develop a stroke. Because you are young, maybe you might not experience that, but progressively when you approach your 40s, your 50s, that's when the risk increases, because throughout your lifetime you had a sedentary lifestyle, you were not active, you were not doing any exercise. So you might use your work type of work as an excuse. Maybe let's say if you're a banker, for instance, you're a doctor, you're an accountant, any type of work that requires you to sit down for a long period of time, maybe you could use that one as an excuse. But then who will be suffering it at the end of the day? It will still be you. So regardless of the type of work you do, try to do something active. Try to indulge in some physical activity. Try to do some exercise every day or weekly. Try as much as possible to do this because it will help you. The fourth one, which is related to the third one, is intake of high level of cholesterol or calories. So I made a video about obesity and also mentioned that too, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I did that. So it's also interrelated. The same reason I said stroke will result. So if this high cholesterol or high calories, if you have an elevated amount of calories in your blood, what usually happens is it will find other areas that will store. Anything you take in excess, the body has a way of finding other places to store. Your cerebral arteries happen to be a target for these things, because when the cholesterol and calories increases, it will be looking for other areas to deposit. Now, I don't want to go into the mechanism through why it targets the cerebral arteries and the great arteries. That's another video. But it happens to be its target. So it will now clog around these major arteries and reduce the lumen or the spacing through which the blood passes through. And because this space is shrinking, other complications will happen. So if you are doing any one of these habits, just know that it's affecting your brain. So if you know you've done any one of them or you are still doing any one of them, from today as you're watching this video, as you just stop this video, stop that habit or reduce it. It might be a type of work that requires you to be sedentary. It might be a type of work that requires you not to eat carbohydrate. But I don't know any type of work that will not require you to eat carbohydrate though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will leave my email in the description. You can send me a private message to my email if you want us to talk privately. If you have any question you want to ask me publicly, you can leave that in the comment section. Also, if you enjoyed the video, you can share it across your friends, your relatives, anybody that you know who might find it interesting. You can support me by subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. See you in another video.